Hi, this is Ed Downs at Aberco Incorporated, manufacturers of Piemaster turnover machines and dough rollers. This is tutorial number 8 in a series to explain the operation, maintenance, and safety of the SA-21 Piemaster. You're looking at the bottom of the transmission. We are, in this video, going to put the transmission on and install the auger and show how to adjust it so it doesn't hit the inside of the hopper. I wanted to show you the bottom of the transmission here with these 4 screws that you can adjust the position of the transmission on these mounting rails. We can't do that until it's in place, and it's difficult to see once it's on the hopper. So it's showing you up front. There's the coupler that you saw that that attaches the auger to this output shaft from the transmission, and we'll pick it up on top of the ladder with the transmission installed and connect the auger and adjust it. Before we install the auger into the transmission, I'm going to show you this on the bench. There's a Allen screw right there that you can loosen, and this whole push plate, we call it, can slide up and down on the shaft. The reason for that is just kind of a new innovation. Is with some fillings, this push plate actually does more harm than good. It doesn't help push the filling down. It tends to spread it out more. So you might just want to push it up out of the filling all the way so it's not a player, and you just have the auger screw doing the pumping. We became aware of that somewhat recently with some customers. This push plate was always welded in place. And we had some customers that were cutting it off because it wasn't helping, it was hurting. Other customers say it wouldn't work without it. So we've made it adjustable where you can get it up, move it up, like I said, to the top of the shaft there, so you don't, it's not in the filling at all. If you're using a fruit filling, typically the push plate helps. And you may get an auger where this is welded on. If you find that it's not working for you and you'd rather not have, the push plate, let us know and we'll swap it out for one that's adjustable like this. But this is a kind of a new thing that we're just putting on the machines that are going to be pumping and meat filling. So anyways, we'll install it in the machine now. So we've got the auger inside the hopper, and we have the transmission installed. A little note on this transmission when you put it back on. It's a tight stretch across the span of this hopper, and sometimes in order to get those screws to line up, you gotta just push on the back of these. These aren't incredibly rigid, just to get the hole alignment right. It is, like I said, it's a long span across, and it takes sometimes a little pushing to get holes to line up, but like we said on all the other screws on this machine, they should thread in very easily without any resistance, and we do put some anti-seize on those. So we've got those in. The other thing is the auger has to go in first. It's almost a guarantee that you will make this mistake at least once. You'll put the transmission on, get it all screwed down, then you'll find out you can't get the auger in here. So you have to put the auger in the hopper first and then the transmission on top of it. So once the auger's in, we find the hole that it goes into right there, and then release this collar down around it. Really get that collar down around it. Tighten that back up. Now it's in. Now what you want to do, and this is critical, first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that there's no place around this push plate that is touching the side of this hopper. I've seen gouges in these hoppers that are a 1/4 inch deep, and I don't know how in the world that could happen, because I would think it would be making a horrendous noise with that metal to metal contact. Also keep in mind your filling. If it's very heavy, the weight of it, this stuff is flexible stainless steel, so when you put the weight of your filling on it, is it going to push it down and contact the side of this? So again, it shows you can adjust this up. So you might want to pull it up a little bit if it's too close. This is pretty close right here. Probably before we ship this machine, I'll bring it up a little bit. So the other critical thing you want to make sure of is that when this the auger's in there, that it moves in every direction. It's a little loose. This is not. It is touching the sides of the depositor tube. The screw part goes down into the depositor tube all the way to the top of the orifice. This is tight in there, so it needs to be adjusted. And that's what I showed you on the bench is those screws under here. We're going to loosen them up a little bit, and then we're going to take this whole transmission box and just move it just little itty bitty bits. I mean, you know, thousandths of an inch maybe. And each time we'll move the shaft, the auger here, and see if we can hear it rattling. And once we can move it in a full 360 degrees and have it without it touching the sides, then we'll know it's adjusted right. We'll tighten the screws back down. So I'm not going to make you sit through that process. It'll take a few minutes. I'll come back after I have it adjusted. So we're back after adjusting the auger shaft. The bolts underneath there, we loosened them up and we moved around the transmission. We actually had to move the transmission quite a bit, maybe a quarter to a half inch in either end. But we finally got it where you can hear the screw inside the depositor tube rattling. So we're moving it in all directions, back and forth. We want it. That's what we're looking for. That tells us that the auger is not touching anywhere inside of that tube. The push plate's not touching the sides. We got our air hooked back up. We got everything tightened down. So the top end of the machine is complete and ready to produce some pies.